Great.
Looks like you're enjoying the beautiful sun out there.
Well, it is sunny, and figured might as well enjoy some sun.
It's raining here.
Well, well, even in the rain, that's how the flowers grow.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I'm really excited to interview you today. Where all is this going to be shared today, Mary?
Probably going to do LinkedIn, probably a couple pages on Facebook, probably with my church group and stuff. So, yeah.
Okay. Are we going live on Facebook?
I haven't figured that all out yet.
All right. No worries. Okay. So we're going to do a little interview. My name is Preston Harris. I am the founder and CEO of PHE Motivation. And today I'm excited because I get to interview one of my coaching clients, one of my favorite people in the world, Miss Nixon-Hahn. Mary is the founder of Awesome Angels Awareness and Inclusion and has just released her first book, Autism in the Workplace, to help managers and HR professionals train and develop and help those who are working with ADS and help them thrive in those scenarios. So, Mary, can you give us a little background about yourself? Tell us about why you're doing the work that you're doing, and we'll get into the interview a little bit.
Why am I doing what I'm doing? I have 3 sons on the spectrum, and they're pretty much all older. And with my son going to college and stuff, I kind of felt the need to put something together to represent what they've been through and what they come through. And with one in college at the time and one in high school at the time and 2 in high school, there's a need out there for people to be able to understand what autism in the workplace is about. I work for retail, so I kind of see it from the inside out. And it wasn't a good representation of how our children with ASD are represented in the workplace.
Okay, so you wanted to make a difference. You wanted to be the one to change that.
Yes.
Okay. So what have you done currently to change that? Have you done any trainings? Have you done any programs? Tell us a little bit about the work that you've been doing.
I'm actually did some WebExes and stuff with Walmart. It's been a couple of years ago, but I still use those WebExes as reference because it was a good time. I had 4 WebExes with Walmart using my simple guide to autism in the workplace. And with that, I had 2,700 people plus on that interview. I had 4 different interviews, so that was exciting at the time. And out of that came the opportunity to be able to put something together to share, not just with where I work, but with other companies as well. I obviously, working from the inside out, I kind of get an advantage to be able to see how interviews go and the abilities of just the HR people to recognize, if there's a little bit of difference and stuff. So it's an exciting time.
Very nice, very nice. So what's one, for those people, those HR professionals, those hiring managers, those people who work with people with autism, how would you give us one tip that you would give for them before we get into our theme today, which is how do I educate my kids with autism during COVID-19? Give us one tip from your new book, Autism in the Workplace, that they can use.
I think the biggest tip is acceptance, Preston. Just because people present themselves one way doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to get the full representation of that person. I think you have to accept them for who they are and where they're at that point, and then build from that.
Okay, so accept people for who they are, and then build from who they are on their strengths and stuff like that, instead of just trying to fit them in the box or something. Is that kind of where you're going with that?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, so we've got COVID-19. We've got a lot of parents and a lot of kids who are at home now who are not in school. And so being someone who's been a direct support mental health professional, I know that school is very important and structure is very important. And so how are you, I know you have your son with you. How are you educating your son during this COVID-19, and what tips do you have for other parents to educate their kids with autism during this time?
I think the biggest thing for us over here is watching body language and stuff. With three sons on the spectrum, body language became very key for us. John is verbal and does very well speaking, but he can't necessarily correlate how he feels necessarily.
Okay.
He has a lot of facial expressions and stuff. So the biggest thing for me is just making sure that his mental capabilities are there and that he is still able to explain to the best of his ability how he can work through different situations. I know at this point routine is nothing, so we have taken basically like his IEP and we have changed it and just adapted it to how John walks through his day.
Okay. So when you say watching his body languages and watching his the way he's handling things and the way he's communicating, what tactical thing for other parents, how could they do that with their kids as well? What little action point do you have for them to do that?
I think if you take a normal day for like John would be, he's 99% of the time he's extremely happy. What concerns me is when he's quiet and just doesn't want to do anything. His favorite word suddenly becomes no, no, no to everything. You got to watch for the cues that you're not used to seeing in this time, because the biggest thing is you don't want them to fall into a area of not being able to express themselves in any way, shape, or form. And again, that just depends on how they've expressed themselves before.
Yeah. So giving them comfort and expressing their emotions and expressing their feelings and things of that nature.
Yep, exactly.
Okay. And then this is a question I don't particularly know, so this is something that I'm going to be really interested in, like education-wise curriculum. I know you talked a little bit about IEP, your son's IEP. How are you working in like learning into that IEP and into this time period?
John is 17 and he's now a senior, I guess you could say, or he would say. John has been learning life living skills, because John doesn't learn from a book. He learns from everything being taught to him physically. So we just finished Zoom classes with school, so we're done with school this year, but he's learning to cook. I kind of let Dad take the cooking part, because him and Dad work really well together when it comes to cooking. You know,
Okay.
you don't necessarily, you don't have, you develop the IEP, so you have that right to slide that IEP over and adjust it for how you want it to be done at home. I mean, I understand that you work really hard to create an IEP, but at this time you kind of have to take and slide it to the side and watch your child as an individual and see how you can fit small parts in it. And just as long as they take a small step or any kind of steps, that's something to celebrate. I mean, in our world, we celebrate the small steps and we celebrate them big.
Celebrate the small steps big. I love that. And like, I think it's something, what I'm hearing you say is like, just participate in activities with them. do stuff with them. Let them cook. And that's good for any type of parents. I know, like for my son, I love making pancakes in the morning with him, you
Right.
know, because it teaches him that skill, but also it allows us to spend that quality time together and grow and learn together. So absolutely. So before we wrap up, do you have, tell us a little bit about where we can find your book, Autism in the Workplace. Tell us a little bit about that and what your goals are and what you have moving forward.
Um, you can find my Autism in the Workplace book. It's an ebook. You can download it. It's $5. It's on lulu.com. I'll have to attach a link to this when I share it, but I have that there. I can be pretty much found on Facebook. I don't have my own page. I chose not to do my own page just because mental health issues. I watch a lot of people struggle with that, so I do that. And also I have a website. It's includingeveryone.org for Awesome Angels Awareness and Inclusion. So I have that as well. I will tag that with the video as well. So you know, you spend time creating stuff, and at this point, I take one of the phrases from one of the folks I follow on Facebook. You know, it's about being seen, but being seen in a positive light, because Preston, I know you know as well as I do, there's way too much negative right now. And
Yeah.
so, you know, sometimes at some point you seriously have to take a step back, and we're on a major pause, and it's just about reaction now. So
Yeah. Yeah. Mary, this has been awesome. I'm super proud of you. Thanks for being that positive light and shining your light and doing something to help out people and parents and just sharing your experiences, because that's the thing is when you share your experiences, you allow other people to learn from them and to grow from them and to get better as well. So if people want to reach out to you, they can reach out to you. You do trainings about autism in the workplace. You do consultations with different parents just to help them or give them tips and stuff. And you also do trainings for businesses as well, correct?
yes, I do, and I'm more than willing. Obviously, I'm becoming more technology savvy at this point, courtesy of my son. But you know, I'm open to do one or two, you know, a couple each week. I am currently stay-at-home mom due to the situation at hand, but I will be returning to work June 9th. But I'm more than happy to reach out if somebody needs the extra attention or just wants to learn a little bit more. And again, if you purchase my ebook, it's pretty simple, but it leaves room for opportunities to expand on that. And that's what I'm willing to do, is take the simple and expand on that for them.
Awesome. 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 And what's been your coaching experience with Be Motivation? How are you liking that? What's going on with that?
Well, you know, as an older person and stuff, it's kind of fun to watch how younger people choose to teach their motivation and stuff. But what I like about you, Preston, is motivation, but you learn at the same time. You have your days. You have your days where I ain't even getting on Facebook, or I'm not even going to jump on Facebook. And I understand that. You know, I think a lot of it's forgotten to where people don't understand the person on the other side of the screen is just as human as you are. And so,
Yeah.
you know, I think being a coach, depending upon who you are, it's a two-way street. I teach you, you teach me, and I've learned a lot from you, and I know you've learned a lot from me. And, you know, I highly recommend your sites as well, you know, given the opportunity.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you. I have learned a lot from you, and you teach me stuff every single time I talk to you. And so thank you for pushing yourself. Thank you for growing, and thanks for just continuing to trust the process. I think we've seen a lot of considerable growth, and we're going to continue to see it because we're consistent.
Yes.
And so that's what I'm excited about. So, all right. Well, thank you for the time, and thank you for sharing this. Give me one more tip, a quick tip for a parent who's a little stressed out with their kid. They're going. What's one tip do you have to relieve some stress for parents other than margaritas, which I know that you're a huge fan of?
You can choose margaritas or not. I'm fortunate enough, I have a big backyard. You know, if I need 5 minutes to myself. I'm fortunate my kids understand that. But even if you only have a couple minutes, walk outside, get the sunshine, or in my case, it'd be feel the raindrops. But just take that 5 minutes, go outside. If you have to, and the neighbors think you're crazy, just scream. Sometimes you have to let the negative out to re-energize yourself with the positive and continue on through your day.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. You can find Mary, the CEO of Awesome Angels Awareness and Inclusion at includingeveryone.org. That's includingeveryone.org. Check out her new ebook, Autism in the Workplace, as well. You can find that on lulu.com. Thank you so much for the time today. This is Preston Harris from PHE Motivation. Have an awesome day.
Thank you, Preston.